honor to be with you this afternoon. And as you can see, I am making a little bit of progress. I actually have a timer on my Facebook Live. I'm so excited about it. And I actually think I have a way to see your chats as they come in. So do me a favor. Let's test it out. If you're on, and there's two of you on, I can see that. Somebody leave a comment, do a like, say hi, say you're here, and let me just see if I can see it. I just love this. I'm going on 1 month of shows. Tomorrow will be my 20th show, and it's just taking me forever to learn this technology. But guess what? Little by little, we're getting her done. I got my little namey name down there at the bottom of the screen, and I had a timer on Facebook. That's so exciting. So I don't see any comments yet. You may be leaving comments, and I just don't see them. Maybe I don't see them yet. Maybe there's a delay, and you're not even seeing me live yet. I don't know. We'll figure it all out together. Cliff, I see you. I see you. That is so exciting. I could actually add you to the broadcast, it says. That's freaky. Now I have to figure out how to answer you. Let's see. Did that help? Nope. All that did was make... Okay. Golly, Cliff, thank you. That's a very kind word. And when I can say thank you, when I can figure out how to click it and type it in on my computer, because I'm right here at my computer right here, and so we'll get there. But I'm so excited to be with each and every one of you here today. So I finally settled on a program that I'm using, Cliff, you the man, that I'm using to broadcast through to get it into Facebook. It is Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live. And one of these days, I'll figure out how to put a link to Ecamm Live in the show notes so that if you want to try it out for yourself, you can do it. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, can I turn this down? Thank you. I see that little wave of the hand. The little thing flew by. Are you doing a W impression right now? Well, I wasn't. But now that you ask, it's never far. It's never far from the surface. W, he's my main man, and I like how he thinks because he and I are simpatico. If you know what I'm saying, it's a beautiful thing to be in the head with the bushes. You know what I'm saying. So anyway, today I'm thinking about thinking. I'm having a few thoughts about thoughts, and I thought it would be fun to talk about that little voice inside your head. I've actually done a little teensy-tiny little bit of research on it, and I found out that some people actually don't have that little voice inside their head. John P. Morgan. Wow, J.P. Morgan on the line. Good to see ya. Appreciate you for being here. Do me a favor. Let me know in the chat window, those of you that are watching now and those of you that will watch the rebroadcast later, if you have that inner dialogue. Do you have a little voice inside your head? And of course, in old cartoons, it's been depicted as you got a demon on one shoulder and an angel on the other, and they're both arguing for influence in your life to try to get you to do stuff. I have definitely dealt with that and had that my entire life, but it's been interesting to consider my own thoughts and where they come from, and there are thoughts, and then there's intuition. They talk about going with your gut. Your gut. Some people say that somewhere in your gut is where your soul lives, where your thoughts originate. Your spirit. And the brain is a marvelous tool. Now, I remember back when I was in high school and afterward, I was led around as though by a leash to do things that were destructive, to do things that were wrong and harmful to me. And I had this little arguing voice on the inside of my head that drew me that way. And even though I knew better and had another voice trying to get me to do right things, it was usually the negative that would win. But what happened is I gave my life to Jesus Christ back in 1975, and I began to have a new voice. Jesus said in the book of John, "My sheep know my voice." And it took me a while to start to discern what I believe was the voice of the Lord or the Holy Spirit directing me in a godly and good fashion. And typically, what I would hear would be scriptures revisited within my being that I had read previously. And so, that's one of the reasons why it's so good to spend a little bit of time in the Bible so that you can get that truth down into your heart and have it to draw from when you need it, when you need encouragement, when you need vision, when you need character strength, when you need a great idea. The brain. I'm reading an interesting book right now that was recommended to me by my dear friend Cliff Ravenscraft. And I'd heard of this book before, but I'd always avoided it because it scared me. The name of it kind of freaked me out, and I thought, yeah, I think that's probably not a good book. However, I got into it, and I'll tell you the name of the book. It's Psycho. Is that it? Psycho Cybernetics? Yeah. Let me hang on. Let me look it up on my phone. Let's see here. Psycho Cybernetics. Yeah. When I said the word psycho, I thought, I'm no psycho. But it talks about the brain being this fascinating, wonderful organ that operates a lot like a machine. It's not a machine, of course. It's much more phenomenal than any machine that ever has been or ever could be devised by man. But it works in a way that you can plant within it. You can plant within your mind goals and dreams that matter to you. And your brain will actually move you in the direction of the goals and dreams that you plant within it. You can be very, very intentional about your thoughts, and then you begin to move in the direction of those thoughts, and it's phenomenal. It's way deeper than that. That's just very much on the surface. I'm in about chapter 4 right now, but it's been very helpful already because I have begun to replace my inner dialogue, that little dude that lives inside my head that tells me I have a lot of I can'ts. I have a lot of I can't do that. Do you? Let me know. Does anybody listening have an internal dialogue of limitations, of things that you know you'd like to do, but you just believe that you can't do them? And the little voice says, yeah, you're not good at that. Either you're not good at that or you can't do that for whatever reason. Well, in this book I'm reading, I'm being challenged to reconsider things that I believe to be true about myself. And it's claiming that I can literally tell my mind what's true about me, and then it becomes my new truth. I mean, they did all these experiments on people, and they found that just by sort of programming or reprogramming what you believe, or it starts with what you say you believe, and then you rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it, and as you do, what you do is you move toward it. Basically, it has to do with what you focus on becomes your reality. And so, at first I thought, ugh, that sounds like it might be, bad. But the guy, I mean, he talks about the Lord and sin and everything else in the book. I mean, I think he's a believer, the guy that wrote it. And so, it's so interesting. Phil Blackburn, welcome to the show. I appreciate you. God bless you too, my buddy. And I like that little heart thingy that you put at the end of the word friend. Very cool. So I wanted to read a little something because there's someone that definitely spends a lot of time thinking about you. And it's God. In Psalm 139, he said this: "How precious are your thoughts about me, O God. They cannot be numbered. I can't even count them. They outnumber the grains of sand." Wow. You know, I remember back in the 80s, Bette Midler came out with the song, "God is watching us, God is watching us, God is watching us from a distance." You know, and it's like, yeah, he's out there, but he doesn't care. He's aloof. He's turned his back on us. Nothing, my friends, nothing could be further from the truth. You might feel, your inner voice might be telling you that God isn't watching you, that He isn't thinking about you, that He isn't intimately acquainted with you. But nothing could be further from the truth. I want to share a little story, something that happened when I was in Chicago with my friend Dale Lee, one of my dearest, closest friends. We've been through thick and thin and almost murder each other together. Dale is a great brother, loves the Lord. He is a fantastic Bill Clinton impersonator. And Dale and I met once. Dale did not like the fact that he looked like Bill Clinton. In fact, he hated the fact that he looked like Bill Clinton. And I'll tell you how he and I met, and then I'll tell you the experience that we had. It's very funny. My wife was involved. We were leaving Chicago on our way home to Orlando at Midway Airport, and my wife was standing behind Dale and in front of me. And she made... Dale, I'm laughing because I know you hate this. I hope you hear this. I'm going to send this show to you so you can listen. My wife said, "I can't believe I'm standing in line between two presidents." And Dale turned around and looked at her, and if eyes could be daggers, she'd be dead. He looked at her, then he looked at me, and I mean, his pupils were like laser pointers. And then he pulled these big welding glasses out of his pocket and wrapped them all around his face. And when we got on the plane, he just kind of sat down in a harumph, and and he didn't want to hear it. And he will tell you he'd heard every version of the, do you know who you look like? And he thought of it as a bad thing. He didn't think that it enhanced his own unique identity, and plus he'd gone through a lot of crap back when he was in high school and this and that for different things, and so he was self-conscious about it. Well, when we got to Orlando and we got to the baggage counter, I went over to him and I just said, with a big smile on my face, my normal big happy smile, I said, "Bro, you're missing out on a lot of fun." And he said, "Okay, tell me about this lot of fun we'd be missing out on." And I told him, well, just because I look like George Bush and can talk like George W. Bush, I've done shows all over the world. I've met all kinds of amazing people. I've become friends with big rock stars, and by the way, I make XYZ amount of money per appearance. And when I said that, his eyes widened, and he thought, now that makes sense. And so I invited him to the Celebrity Lookalike Conference coming up in Orlando in about 6 weeks from then, and the Sunburst Celebrity Lookalike Convention. It's in I was there for the very first year, and I've been there for almost every one, except when I had a high-paying gig and couldn't get out of it. And I just love that. I lovingly call my lookalike family the Freak Show, but actually it's made up of regular men and women who have regular jobs, and they're normal, except that they look like Danny DeVito or Arnold Schwarzenegger or Dolly Parton, and they have this entertainment gene, and this is their chance to give it expression. And that's how I got started, just because people kept telling me I looked like George W., which of course I do. Anyway, so I forgot where I was going. I totally forgot. Oh yes, I got it. It came back. Okay, so Dale and I were at a conference in Chicago, speaking at a Get Motivated seminar. I toured with Get Motivated. I toured with Promise Keepers. I toured with Winter Jam Tour Spectacular. And the Lord has opened so many amazing doors for me to entertain and have an impact into the lives of people in the audience. And we were there at Get Motivated, standing in the lobby, and I saw a couple approach me, and you could just tell, you can tell. They were making a beeline toward us. They wanted to get a picture with the presidents. And so as they were walking toward me, I had this flash of a thought in my mind, okay? The word eternity popped into my head. I didn't see it, but it was clear. I didn't hear it audibly, but it was there, and it was pretty pronounced. So what I surmised was that God was speaking to me about this couple. And because I have an evangelistic gift, I want to do everything I can to maximize the lives of the people that God puts in my path by sharing truth with them or whatever. After we did some small talk and began to get the picture, I asked this young lady, I said, "Do you ever think about eternity?" And she goes, "All the time." And so I thought, okay, this was the Lord, and He's definitely onto something. And I said, "Well, do you know where you'll spend eternity?" She goes, "No." And I said, "Would you like to know?" And she goes, "Yes." So I chose to share my story of how I came to faith in Jesus Christ. And, I was raised Catholic, but I didn't come to know the Lord through the Catholic Church. I came to know a lot about the Lord. I came to know a lot of loving people, but it was at a different place that I came to know Jesus Christ. I shared, what I was like before I got to know the Lord, and what happened when I met Him, and how it changed my life. And then so I said to her, so I gave my life to God, because I remember the day. I remember exactly where I was sitting, what pew. I remember who was talking. I hated them. I didn't want to be there. I wanted the service to be over because I had a big fat doobie in my glove compartment, and I couldn't wait to get out and smoke it. Just to be honest with you, back in the day. My mom had drugged me there. I didn't want to be there, but I was there because I had to keep on my good little Christian show for my mom, because I was lying to her and telling her I was a Christian to keep her off my back about everything I was actually doing. So I'm explaining this story to this young lady, and then I said, so I was born again on March 5th, 1975. And when I said that, she reacted, and I said, "What?" And she goes, "That's the day I was born." Now, who knew that before we met? The Lord did. And, when I share about the Lord, I don't usually drop the date I got saved into the conversation, but I did in this particular instance. And so I said to her, so she said, "That was the day I was born." And I said, "Well, how would you like it if this is the day that you're born again?" And she goes, "That would be fantastic." She and her friend prayed to receive Christ right then and there. So I had the opportunity to lead her into a profession of faith. And it was so cool because my mind wasn't on that. I wasn't thinking anything about that. Dale and I were just catching up with each other and having a great old time. And when that word eternity entered my brain, and it didn't feel like that little guy that, the little voice. It felt like it was coming from somewhere else. And that's one of the ways you can tell when the Lord's speaking to you. You can tell it's like a different origin. Thoughts are so weird, so mysterious. But that lady, her life will never be the same because of that little word that came in, eternity. It's amazing. It's so much fun. And so anyway, so that's my story today. I just love you guys. I love that you have been staying with me. I love so much that you are enjoying these little talks. It's such a blast to do it. I was afraid to do this, I'm telling you, for half a decade. My internal dialogue was saying, you can't do that. You have no stick-to-itiveness. You don't have what it takes to do a good job at it. Internal dialogues, guess what, folks? They can be wrong, but you can change them. And it makes a big difference when you do. Thanks so much for I gotta share a sponsor today, or my wife will kill me. She wants me to talk about my books. I have 2 books that I've written. They both have 5-star reviews on Amazon because, frankly, they're good. When I go back and read them, I really like them. I think, who wrote that book? And one of them is War on Fear by John Morgan with Alan Robertson, who wrote the foreword. Alan Robertson is one of the brothers from Duck Dynasty. And he tells the story of how he and I met in the foreword to the book, and it's really fun. And Joel Balin, my dear friend, and he hates that his name is so small on the bottom. I know, I should have made it bigger. But that's this book, and it's really a great book if you or anybody you know is dealing with fear. Look, here's a picture of Kathy and me as George and Laura. Isn't that fun? She's a blonde, but she looks like Laura. We threw the wig on her. And there's me and Jeb Bush. I told him, I'd take a bullet for you, Jebby. And he just chuckled. Oh, check this one out. There's me. Can you believe that? That's a prosthetic mask I'm wearing to look like John McCain. So much fun. But it talks about what fear is, the nature of fear, fear of terror or terrorism, fear of insignificance, fear of man or woman, fear of, let's see here, fear of public speaking. That's a big one. That's a huge one. The fear of missing out, absolutely huge. And if you or someone you know is dealing with fear, this book can get you past it. And you should get a copy of it. You can pick it up at waronfearbook.com. waronfearbook.com. And my other book is called My Life as a Bush. My Life as a Bush. And it's a comedic devotional. And each chapter has questions for reflection. And I wrote that book to answer the question, how did you get started as a George Bush impersonator? I mean, what made you go for it in the first place? So it's a real fascinating book. It's funny. It tells a lot of, hi Karen, good to see you. Good to see you, D. Appreciate you, amigo. So My Life as a Bush and My Heart for Imitating Jesus is the first book. And you can get both of these books on Amazon. And you can also get War on Fear at my website. And this would get you an autographed copy if you go to waronfearbook.com. And I'll tell you something else too. If you buy a copy, the money goes directly into my PayPal account and helps me to pay for stuff like the equipment I need. I'm buying a green screen and I just bought a whole nother program to make the show better, which is what you're starting to see the fruit of. And so buying a copy of the book or buying one for a friend actually helps me out a great deal too. And so it would mean a lot. And I really appreciate it. Plus, it's going to benefit you. Huge. So fantastic. It's going to be wonderful. Enormous. Okay, stay away from the coronavirus and you won't get sick. God bless you, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and share. Share the show so more people can be blessed. Okay, I have a new window and I have no clue where the it's over button is. So we get to hang around for a moment longer while I find. Okay, I think I just found it. All right. Thank you so much. Please let me know what you think about the show. Leave your comments. Leave me some nice long comments, suggestions, things that you'd like to see me do to improve the show, things that you'd like me to talk about, anything like that. And there's two reasons for that. One is because I really want to know, because it's my joy to serve you. And the second is that when we chat, and when we chat, when you leave comments and I respond to them back and forth, Facebook sees that, and that interaction causes them to push the show out to more people, so more people can begin to watch. See, I'm learning every day. It's so much fun. God bless you, and I hope you enjoy your dinner.